90% of the people who come to NorthStar start out the program saying they don't want to quit. And it's fine. It's completely fine that they arrive here saying that and that that's what they want. In fact, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that opening that possibility up brings more people to the table because they can get care earlier in their disease, right? They don't have to wait until it's so bad they are just in big, big trouble. So I'm thrilled that people can come earlier and feel safe to do it because it's anonymous, because they can just get started, and because they're not afraid they're never going to be able to drink again. That statement, you can never drink again, to someone who has this disorder is frankly terrifying. It's terrifying. And I would argue that most people walking through an AA door their very first time are terrified, right? So that feeling of terror you know, isn't necessary. It's possible to get treatment that enables people to be able to successfully moderate. I want to say that again. It is possible to get treatment that helps people successfully moderate. And let me tell you what that looks like. And by the way, we learned this from the European literature and Australian literature. They've been doing this for 30 years. In the US, we don't do this because the US has so bought into the AA philosophy that you can never have a drink again. That's what the entire country practices, that belief. But the belief is false. It's actually not true. So how do you do it? How do you help people be successful over the course of when they're over the course of this disease? How do you help people successfully moderate? Well, it's most definitely possible in earlier stage patients. It makes it easier to do in earlier stage. They don't have liver disease yet, right? They don't have memory impairment. They don't have perhaps as bad of a nutritional deficiency. In that case, those patients, really can moderate very easily. We get them under control in the beginning. We usually recommend that people take a time away from it because, number one, we want to prove to them it's possible and that they can do it. Number two, it gives their brain some time to heal and restore. And while we're building up their brain health by using the key nutrients that we use that restore it, they develop again the capacity to be able to make the decision to not drink in excess. So we usually recommend a solid 3-month period of time or so where patients are off of alcohol when they come in if they plan to moderate. And then when they've successfully done that, what we then can do is really support them in doing a trial of returning to drinking, right? So you have to be mindful about it. It has to be planful. This is where the peers are so helpful. If you anticipate that you have a family birthday party that's coming up on Tuesday night and you're worried that there's going to be a lot of alcohol there and you want to go and you'd like to be able to have a glass of wine while you're at that birthday party, well, then you go with a plan. The peers might suggest you have a buddy with you at the birthday party who knows that you're trying to not drink and who can be a support to you while you're there. They can talk to you before you arrive. They can talk to you right when you're leaving. You can get a breathalyzer halfway through the event and halfway after, or immediately after the event is over, right? You can do all of these things to help keep you on track, but enable you to actually just have one drink. We have them bring non-alcoholic beverages with them. So if you're going to this birthday party, bring a non-alcoholic bottle of wine. Have one glass that's there, and then have the rest of your glasses be NA. By doing those tools, patients learn, okay, I can just have one. I can be at this event. I can have one. I've never been able to do that before. But when I have the right meds on board, now that my brain is tanked up with nutrients, when I go in with a non-alcoholic beverage in my pocket, ready to go, they can do it. And it's not something where we just say, go right back to everything you were doing before. It's not that. And it's not that we're encouraging patients to even get back to that level. I mean, if they're drinking 6, 7, 8 beers a day, vodka drinks, anything, we don't want people to return to that level of drinking. So we're not suggesting that. We're suggesting that we can help people get to where once a month, once every couple of weeks, they could go out and have a beverage. Which is what most people want to get to, right? They don't want to say never again, but they also don't want to get back to where they are because they know how miserable they are where they are now. So that's what we talk about when we talk about moderation. It really depends on a few factors, whether it's possible. And it most definitely depends on whether or not you have those risk factors or not. If you're someone who already has pretty significant neurologic compromise, if you're meaning that you have a lot of memory deficit or cognitive function problems, it's probably not a good idea. If you have pretty advanced liver disorder now, liver disorder as a result of it, you've caused enough toxicity, or there's been enough toxicity in your liver that you need to have your liver monitored now. It's probably never safe again to drink. So I'm not saying that all patients, but I would say that a really significant proportion of patients could potentially moderate again. And it is the goal of most patients who come into our program. And what's interesting is 90% of our patients, as they sign up, say they want moderation. About 25% of our patients by the end of the year have made the choice to continue with that plan. And it is always their choice. So about 75% of our patients are ending up being completely abstinent, entirely of their own choosing, because they realize they feel so much better without it and they prefer their lives without it. But we let them make that choice. We're not making that choice for them because it's not a philosophy. This is a science.